How are we doing, everyone? How are we? How are we managing?
Rhett's stretching.
I'm just happy to be home, Dean, Ryan, everybody. Just
How's
happy
your
to be
trip, Rhett?
home. What a trip.
How many days have you been going to Milwaukee?
My
4
God.
now?
It's been a lot of hard
Feels
travel.
like forever.
Yeah, hard
it is
miles for
exhausting.
sure. Yeah. What's the latest?
Another unsuccessful attempt at this air travel extravaganza.
You could have driven there back and forth 10 times by now.
Easy. And got to do what I was planning.
You're probably far more affordable.
and
than
could
the
have
way
gone to
you've done it.
Calgary, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Could have done
Well,
that.
Dean was
So-
excited to see you. That's too bad.
So you were so Milwaukee. This has been the goal for a while now. What happened yesterday? Because I believe we had said, see ya tomorrow. Maybe you'll be in a cafe, maybe a hotel room. Not quite sure, but you'll be somewhere. But there you are back at the ranch in Buffalo.
The morning flight was delayed, so the connection wouldn't work, and there was no other flights to get us out for the 1:30 ice time that we needed to be in Milwaukee for.
Right.
And so, okay, we're going to have to miss day one of the program. It's okay. Can still get in there for a couple days. We'll leave at 6, get in at 11. It's fine. Sleep in a little. We'll be all set for Wednesday and Thursday. Airport, check-in, delay.
Yeah.
Just a 30-minute delay. We had
That's
an
it. That's
hour.
all.
We had
Bugger
an
all.
hour in Chicago.
Yeah.
Plenty of time. Nothing ever goes wrong in Chicago.
Not
What
at
a
O'Hare.
town.
Nope.
Yeah. What a town. Great spot.
Ooh, delayed more, another 15 minutes.
Still in
Right.
Buffalo here.
Still in Buffalo. I would
So
go
I might make the plane, but what if we don't have equipment?
right.
Gonna
Yeah.
skate.
You can't even get a rental and go. Yeah.
How far is the drive?
10.
10
Smooth
hours.
10.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You're right in that pocket where it feels a little. It's a drive.
It's a long 10 hours to turn around for Thursday at 3:00 and drive home.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point, too.
Yeah.
You
And you know
what I
what's
mean?
great about this is once again, our next guest joins us mid conversation, but yet the
Mhm.
conversation is about you missing air travel.
Third
flight
time this week.
delays, missed flights, all of that. It's really something. Jamie McLennan from TSN Overdrive, among the other things that he does and does so well. It's like deja vu, right? So Rhett missed a plane, drove.
What did he do again? Like, I mean, you know what the thing is like there is a pattern here.
Yeah.
This is the pattern. The pattern is if it's too hard, he says to hell with it. That's it.
Oh.
Like that's what it is. That's what it is. Now he played like a fearless warrior. But the minute that he retired, he's like nothing
Kicked into
else
neutral.
matters.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, all that resiliency
Just
Like-
gone.
and fortitude.
Like that. The difference is he had the unbelievable work ethic, great in the room, great leader. Played for keeps, all of that type of stuff. You wanted him. Now it's if it like you just nothing like you're just like I'm good. If that remote's too far away, I'm not going to reach for it. You call somebody, you get on the phone, you say, come down here, pick up that remote and bring it to me. That's what it is. You live life the right way. That's what it like for me. I don't know why I haven't slowed down. I'd like to slow down. I need lessons to slow down.
I want your lessons to start tonight. What are you doing tonight?
Tonight, do you really want to like?
I want tonight because I have a proposal for you.
Okay,
You want to hear the proposal, or you tell me first? You go.
Well, my schedule is I've got my show from 4 to 7, and then I'm supposed to tape something for Jay and the Jay show, and then I've got 11 o'clock conference call for a plastics company in New Zealand because it's
Time change.
Yeah,
time change, so it's tomorrow. So we have 11 o'clock call tonight with the owner and one of the investors, and so I'm calling in on that. So it's a company called Anew. I'm going to go and grab the water bottle. I'll show you.
Okay.
Good advertisement.
It's sex toys, isn't it? It's,
Yeah,
it's dildo.
the anal lube. I don't know what's going on.
Aroused.
I'm an importer-exporter at Mandalay Industries.
So there it is. This is the healthiest. It's reusable and it's plant-based. It's the healthiest bottle on the planet.
Eat it? What do you?
Carbon negative. Why am I getting a thumbs down from someone?
Yeah, whoa.
What's that? What's going on?
You did that.
It's the smallest bottle of water. It's the bottle of water with the smallest carbon footprint in the world. And I got them to put TSN on it. You can brand it, whatever.
It's got the lid.
Shameless.
What's that?
It's got the lid there. You can top it off, close it
Well,
up.
no, it's reusable.
Yeah.
So you can dishwasher safe, you name it, whatever you want to do. My kids take them to school. They're awesome.
How many have they lost so far?
They haven't lost any because they're
Yeah.
somewhat responsible. Somewhat responsible.
So how how do you differentiate this? What's the separation between this, which I'm sure is very good? It's great. But it feels like there's a lot of water bottles. I have a cupboard just full of them. And I'm basically at this point. For example,
like the
when
Stanley
new ones
bottle,
come in, you got to get rid of some old ones.
Well, there's lead base in the lining, which is not very good for you because if that ever leaks in, your kids or you are drinking lead.
Well, it's vitamin L. Rhett loves it.
What about this guy?
Put it this way. Yeah. But that bottle is that Gatorade bottle, for example.
Yeah.
That is not organically made. That is not reusable. That's bad for the environment. That's a plastic bottle. This is organic.
But I use it a lot. I use it every day, and I've been using it for a long time.
This is organic based. Okay. You can literally put it in recycle bin, break it down, and rebuild it again. That's this is something I'm passionate about. This company, and we're going to bring it to North America here soon.
I'm in. Let's go.
There you go.
Okay, well, you do.
It feels like there's a lot of bottles
about this too. Very passionate. Very passionate.
Listen, there's no lead in that can. You're fine. Also, you do you. I'm gonna go for supper with Iggy and Kipper. So don't bother coming.
Please tell me you're doing that tonight.
Like Iggy
and Connie. Iggy and
I was
Connie.
gonna say Kipper over the plug again.
Buffalo?
They're in Buffalo.
Well, my phone doesn't ring unless they need something.
Listen, my phone doesn't ring either. I've harassed them. They've avoided me. They have meetings. They have things, and I'm going to beat them about the head.
It's that work ethic you're talking about.
Yeah,
he's really grinding to get them on to go for dinner with them.
I would drive to Buffalo tonight and maybe do that meeting on the way home. But then the problem is if I go to Buffalo tonight, I might not make it home.
You could stay here.
Can you slur on the call? I think you can do all these things.
Warner's got Wi-Fi. Obviously, you can set up there at the
there's hotel rooms. Those two probably got a massive presidential suite downtown somewhere.
Yeah, well, the problem is I don't get my show. I'm not done my show till 7, and then I'm
the chopper. Would be fine.
You can call Evander Kane. Doesn't he have a chopper's number?
Yes, he did the chopper from Jay's game to Sabres practice and was late, and then he'd alienated himself from his second NHL dressing room at that point.
Well, that's not too good. But I mean, listen,
there was another one after that.
He's 4 wins away from being a Stanley Cup champion. So
and he's 3 away from not being a Stanley Cup champ. We'll see. I just want to see good things happen to good people, Noodles. How could you not cheer for the Oilers and Evander?
Well, I could cheer for McDavid. I could cheer for Draisaitl, who's one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I went back a week. And we were getting ready for game 4. And at that point, the Oilers had just blown a lovely 2-0 lead. Dallas scored 3 in the second period and rolled to victory. Yeah. And we were wondering, maybe the Oilers might not play a game again this season. They might not get another win. Their season might be over by the time we even hit June. But you came on here and you were loving the Oilers, pumping those Oilers. I think these guys are great. I think Skinner's been this, and I think that Knobloch's been that, and they haven't lost since, and now they're 4 wins away. Well, so I hope you're happy.
I argued with Pinder about laying the depth on top of each other.
Yeah.
And it was Edmonton's depth that beat basically that.
It was. They were better in that series. I don't know that anyone else said that they would be, but you did. It was quite impressive. I didn't think that the Fogels and McLeods and Perrys would have outplayed the 80.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's Noodles Stradama is what it is.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that.
Listen,
I laid the rosters on top of each other yesterday because I'm back and forth. I'm flying into Edmonton and doing all of that for the panel.
Yeah.
It's damn close. Separator could be goaltending, which Bob has obviously the check mark there. But I went back and looked. Bob allowed 21 goals against Vegas in the finals last year.
I was going to say, he had the check mark against Aiden Hill last year too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He came in with a 950. It really doesn't matter what you've done to this point. Can you be good for another 2 weeks?
He did. It's funny when you listen. I think when Florida, for example, like the coach has got, like Paul Maurice he's got some mojo going on. He's winning every press conference right now. He's, feeling it, all of that type of stuff. But he's got that team playing. They play for keeps, and there's no doubting that. But I looked at their rosters yesterday. So, for example, if you lay them on top of each other, that top line for Florida, Verhaeghe, Barkov, and Reinhart, pretty damn good first line.
Yep.
But if Edmonton goes RNH, McDavid, Hyman, RNH had 100 points last year, didn't have that this year.
Nope.
You got McDavid, and Reinhart had 57, Hyman had 54, right? Like they kind of cancel each other, but does the tie go to McDavid or does the tie go to Barkov, who's, having a great, so like they're pretty damn close.
Go to the second line. What do you got now?
Well, Tkachuk, Bennett, and Rodriguez. Now, Tkachuk is a very unique, I think he's a separator because of the way he plays. I think same thing with Bennett. But then, let's go to Edmonton. This is where I think their second line struggles because right now they've got McLeod, Draisaitl, and Perry. I don't think Perry.
One second liner on that line.
What's that? Yeah, I think Perry won't end up there.
No.
I think what'll happen is he'll push down. If Kane can play, I think Kane can go up if he can play. And Kane is a guy that, when you remember the Edmonton Calgary series, he was a bastard to play against. He was the guy that got in Tkachuk's face, and Tkachuk didn't want to fight him. He went after Bennett. He's a guy that can be the great equalizer there. Now, Kane, Henrique, and Holloway is a really nice third line where you go back to Florida, for example, and Florida got Lesterainen, Lundell, and Tarasenko. They're both, both lines are, you can make an argument for both of them. Pretty decent, right? Now, this is Florida's last game. Their fourth line was Lorentz, Stenlin, and Opozo. Now, I don't know if Cousins draws in.
Lomberg could come back.
Lomberg, that's you throw some pests in there. And then Edmonton's fourth line, I think, has played very well. That's Janmark, Ryan, and Connor Brown has played really, really well. That's that penalty kill. I think Carrick might come in. I think Perry might go down and one of them come up, mix and match. I think we might see Fogle because he's a heavier body go in. Ryan McLeod still played too soft, if you ask me. He's a great skater. He's good on the penalty kill, but I think he needs to dig in physically, and that's where they might put Fogle, bigger body, back into it. But if you lay them on top of each other, they're pretty damn close. The separator could be 97 if he just is I was in the building for game 6, and honest to God, when he scored that goal, I said to my buddy I was sitting with, I don't think he's going to be denied. I just felt like he was not going to let them lose that night. And I thought it was critical for them to win that game because I don't think, going back to game 7 in Dallas, I don't think they would have won it. I think Pete DeBoer 8-0 in game 7s. Maybe Dallas finds some mojo. Skinner has an off. You never know. There's just too much factors. But I think the separator might be the D. Ekholm and Bouchard, I think, could be better than their top pairing. With, hold on a second, Forsling and Ekblad. Bouchard's 82 points and 27 points in the playoffs. He might be the best out of all of them just offensively, and he's been solid. Go ahead, Rhett.
Well, I'm just going to question. Does Ekblad get enough love? And I go back to the last series, and I mean, it's not just Ekblad, but Ekblad, to me, I think if they end up winning, is going to start to get that Hedman conversation where, he's just that guy that's always there and does the right stuff and just chews up lots of minutes, and just, you maybe don't notice him so much until the series is over and you go, how did the other team's top line do? They didn't do that. Well, it's not just Barkov. there's other guys. And I'm wondering if Ekblad might be like that.
This Forsling's a hell of a player.
Yeah,
like
they locked him up. That's a waiver claim. That's found money, guys.
Yeah, that's a hell of a player. But is that a coin flip for that top pairing? Is it Bouchard? Like, because Ekholm's no walk in the park either. He's a hell of a player and big and solid. And then where I think Florida's better is their depth on D. Is Mikkola and Montour versus, I guess, do you want to do how Edmonton ended? Was Nurse and Kulak, Broberg, and Ceci. They had to break those two up. I said this morning on a show, I think Darnell Nurse could be a really big X factor, because if he plays like he did the game where the one went off his ass and basically said, to hell with this, because he was -2 before he even put his gear on. Like that was, we're all sitting on our couch. It's 2 Cobb Dallas. And you're like, holy smokes, this is going to be 10-0. And then they flipped the switch. Nurse had 12 hits that night, and he got back to kind of what he's capable of doing. And that's being a bully, big and mean, physical, making somebody pay. So I think if Florida has this mantra that they're bullies, I think Edmonton can stand up to them physically. That's where, if you can neutralize them physically, and I mean push back, then you see who, the skill guys take over. Now, is it Verhaeghe? Is it Nugent Hopkins? Is it Draisaitl and McDavid? Is it Barkov? Is it, Reinhart? You go right down the line. Tarasenko chips in his 3rd goal against the Rangers. So I don't think, I kind of feel like this series is a pick 'em. It's not like, hey, Florida's just going to mop the floor with them. And then, the goalie, both goalies, Skinner, I think, absolved himself a little bit, but there is still, I think there's a layer of doubt where it's, you don't have that 4 years, 5 years of what this guy's done. But then I think back to Bobrovsky, it was a calendar year where, he got them into the finals and all of that, but it was Alex Lyon that helped them get in the playoffs. So, they're still kind of thin layers of question marks. Bobrovsky's got the check mark for me, but Ottinger had the check mark for me too.
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day. It feels like when you have one of those goaltending tandems, you go back to Winnipeg. It was Connor Hellebuck was absolutely getting the check mark over Georgie 5, and then after game 1, you're like, well, it's a bad night for Hellebuck, but Georgie's. They're hooped. They're used to Sandin. It's going to have to be the guy. And then he settled, Georgie settled in, and Hellebuck didn't settle in very well, and the series was over in 5.
Yeah.
It's impossible to predict goaltending. It's just too volatile.
I was just going to say, it's almost impossible to predict anything when it comes to this type of year, because you wouldn't have guessed at the start of round number 3 that you would be having Philip Broberg in the conversation going into a round 4. I don't know that when you're going into the Vancouver series, you were going to talk about, the goaltending there, Archer Seelov, and how good he was going to be.
Yeah.
Things just changed so quickly. All you can do is take a look at the path that they got there. Edmonton, full marks to the way they handled Dallas. Did Dallas fall apart? Feels like they did, but that's not Edmonton's fault. What do you make of the path that the Panthers made? They go over, they got Tampa Bay in 5, Boston in 6, and then we saw the Rangers in 6. I guess, what'd you see from Tampa, Boston, and the Rangers? Is that a good enough kind of a pushback measuring stick for you to assess where Florida's game is at right now?
I think Florida, their team game is probably the best in the league. Like the way that they play as a group, they forecheck hard, they pressure you. I think their motto is like, to hell with this. We're never going to be tentative. We're never going to sit back and just try and manage a game or whatever. Like Edmonton tried to manage that game the other night. They got up to, shots are 35-10. Skinner had to be good. Like, to me, they kind of just defended. Florida doesn't sit back and defend. They forecheck the hell out of you. They push. They try. Like you said, Broberg. I think Desharnais we might see him back in this series. You need a big body back there that can absorb contact. The problem is he going to be able to move the puck quick enough? Because Florida, they'll pound you, and then they create chances off of turnovers in the offensive zone. I think Florida plays the best team game because their D jump up in the rush. Their forwards are really responsible, like defensively, and the goalie's been good. And I think the goalie's good because they don't give up. They're not a team that gives up 23 high-quality chances in a game. so Bobrovsky can manage the workload. I think the reason why Florida was able to handle those teams is they never stepped out of their formula of how they win. And that's working hard, forecheck. Teams will be able to beat you. Bobrovsky's not good on a night, or maybe they get in penalty trouble. That's where it'll be a fine line. I said this before. I'll say it again. I think the Edmonton can probably win 2 games, maybe a third game alone on these factors. And they might tie in together. McDavid might just go, I've got a game. Put his hand up. McDavid and or Draisaitl might go, I'm the best player on the ice. It's not happening with me out here. I think the goalie can steal one, or has to steal one, Skinner. And I think your power play and your penalty kill or combination has to win you a game. So there's 2 or 3 cases, to try and get 3 wins. Can you get the 4th? And will Florida allow that? Because you look at Florida's penalty kill and power play strong. They're great 5-on-5. And I think they're deep. There's no weaknesses to their team. But can Edmonton kind of suck them in? And maybe, again, that Dallas series, Dallas was the least penalized team in the league. Like, Florida's not. Florida will take.
Yeah, this is the greasiest team in the league.
Right. So if you're going to take 6 penalties in a game and Edmonton scores on 2 or 3 of them because they find that formula and that mojo, you better watch out. Like, that's something I think where it's a fine line between being aggressive and being stupid. And I think Florida's found it, but they also cross over into that other side where it might be a night where Edmonton gets ahead and Florida says, to hell with it, we're going to start punching people in the face. And we're going to lose 6-1 that night, and we'll reset and try and be smarter next game. But that's where, if Edmonton, I think, has a chance, there's got to be a McDavid night, there's got to be a Skinner night, and there's got to be a power play night where that's kind of a formula to help them.
Shit, their special teams could win you 4. Like, their penalty kill's perfect, and they have the best power play in the NHL. You don't have to chalk one up there. But again, maybe Florida's special teams can outshine for the next 2 weeks. I think the most curious thing I'm watching is exactly what you just wrapped up with there. And I don't know how we got 10 minutes to get there, but Florida is the greasiest, dirtiest, after the whistle, grimiest, glove in your face, piss you off, get under your skin team in the league. Edmonton has some guys that can handle it, but they haven't played a team like Florida yet. Dallas didn't do any of it with them. Edmonton has the most dangerous power play on planet Earth in the last half decade because of the personnel they can run. They've added Bouchard to a group that already had, Hyman 50 in front of the net, Draisaitl and McDavid, and the lucky guy that gets points hanging with those 4 guys.
Right.
Can you stay out of the box and live to your identity? And if we're being honest, it might not be a Florida Panthers question. It might be a officiating question, because we know consistency does this all the time with this league. High stakes, playoffs, regular season. No one knows what the hell a penalty is or isn't at different times. Like, this is going to be a really difficult series to officiate, because both fan bases are going to be screaming, and the Edmonton fan base might be as vocal, as loud as any on earth.
Yeah. And exactly. Anybody who goes near McDavid, it's like, hey, you got to be mindful of all of that. That being said, I've always believed that, I hoped maybe that refereeing shouldn't be like, when I don't notice them, to me, it's a good game. Like, yes. I didn't mind that Dallas series, like, okay, too many man, power play, like blatant trip here, all of that type of stuff. But you're right. Florida doesn't play like that. It's scrum at every whistle. It's cheap shot. It's chirp. It's punch in the face. And it's pushing the limits to finally where the ref goes, I got to make this call because you just did that. Where I would like to see, as, I know this is against kind of probably what people think, but as it gets deeper in the playoffs, I like less penalties. I like just letting them play. But the problem is Florida pushes the envelope to the point where, can you let them play where it's like the old school, Rhett, you used to, we all made a living at it. I laugh, but Rhett, you'd chop somebody or you'd cross-check them 5 times and the ref would be yelling at you, Rhett, enough.
No more.
One more, I'm going to make if you cross-check him the 6th time, you're going to get it. Like that 6th time is just too far for me. I don't see that. I don't envision it, but you make a good point. I think I think the reffing has to find or establish the standard and go, this is what we're doing. And you want to cross the standard, then you're going to be in the box. If you want to play hard and play nose to nose and a few stinky gloves here and a shot there. I mean, I have no problem if guys punch each other in the face and the ref takes them both or just lets them go, hey, it's even and nothing to see here. But they have to establish the standard so the players know how to go to that line and not cross it.
I'm just waiting for this is getting out of control. The refs are going to have to pull one guy out of this pile to set an example. And that's the exact bullshit that drives us nuts because it's like it's a scrum and you're going to give someone a power play. But in this series, you're talking about a really legit power play, whichever side it's going to.
Well, and the other thing, too, is I liked Adam Henrique. I don't know if you saw him and Perry on the podium, and they're talking about, the Bennetts and Tkachuk's, and he's like, well, we got a Corey Perry, which is true. Corey Perry.
38-year-old Corey Perry.
That would be my concern if you're a Flames fan and not cheering for the team up north is that, yes, the Panthers, and I like how they play, and they're gritty, and Edmonton is plenty gritty. They might not play like the Panthers play, but they've got more than enough guys that can.
Yeah,
I don't see
Florida.
I don't see them as soft. I don't think they're
no.
I really don't.
But they're not as greasy. I mean, they've got 6 or 7 rats on that team. It's Lomberg, it's Tkachuk, it's
Lomberg barely plays. Lomberg is in and out of the lineup.
When
and
he's
he's
a shit disturber, and when he's not, it's Gadjevit, and when he's not, it's Nick Cousins, who's an absolute animal at getting under your skin. Maybe the best rat in the league today.
Yeah.
Like it's their DNA. I'm sorry, the Oilers can deal with it. They're not at that level.
I'm not saying they are. They don't play that way. I'm saying that I don't believe that they're going to be intimidated because of Cousins and those guys trying to run around.
Yeah, I don't think it's intimidation. It's do you let them get under your skin? Like we're not talking about fights. We're talking about agitating you and getting you off your game. They haven't.
When you've got that power play, though, I think it's a lot easier. Don't get involved. Don't get into it. Just take the power plays. And the thing with that power play is you may only get 2 or 3 a night. Could be enough.
Got to make it.
You saw in games 5 and 6
they
for Edmonton. They scored
but,
bang bang. It was.
But that's what it is. Is you find kind of that happy medium. And that's why I kind of come back to like the Nurses and the Canes and guys like that. Carrick can handle himself. Ekholm. Like there is guys that can handle themselves on that roster. They may not, outside of Perry, they don't go looking for it. They can play it. And I think there's one guy who's shy on the Oilers roster, and it's McLeod. And I think he's a guy who can get his nose dirty, but he doesn't do it. He has to, and he would be a guy for me that is on the cusp of being in and out, because if they decide that they need a bigger body, it's Foegele that goes back in, and you put him on the wing because he can skate. He's a fast skater, a lot like, McLeod, but Fogel's a bigger body and could be more physical. So I think there's like little, you look at Chris Knobloch and some of the tweaks that he's made. Broberg's been nice. Against Dallas, it was like it's a no-hitter. It's going to be, you got to be quick. You got to exit the zone. Against Florida, it's going to be a massive hitter, and you still have to be quick and exit the zone. So do you give Broberg an opportunity to use his skating to adapt to that physicality, or do you put Desharnais? I think we're going to see Desharnais at some point back in that series. Because they're, a 6'7" defenseman who can,
especially if it's greasy, right?
Yeah, if it gets greasy, he can take care of stuff in front of the net. I think it's fascinating, but it all comes back to how disciplined are these teams going to be to play their system, to play they want, or play between the lines. Where if Edmonton's power play is hanging over top of them, say, you know what, I'm not going to punch somebody in the face after the whistle, because if I'm going to give McDavid a chance to go nuts on a power play. So it's fascinating, but both these teams, kind of how they've arrived, it's pretty interesting. I think we have seen kind of Edmonton grow in front of our eyes as far as what it takes to kind of win these 2-1 games. I would say that last game against Dallas, that's not a formula to win.
It's a good point you make. And like, when did it start? And you can argue, okay, so you go back to last year and they lose, or you go to the start of the year when they have the losing streak, that horrible run until late November, and then they pivot. You even go back to round 1 against the Kings. There was a little bit of adversity there, and then they win 1-0, right? Like they pitch a shutout, they get a 1-0 win. And then against Vancouver, it just feels like if you're waiting for the that old fragile Oilers team to show up, I don't think it's there. I think that this team has grown, but I guess the question, one that can't be answered, but I throw it to you. There's still a team that's not been here, right?
Florida has
going in there and all the banners are up and there's media and all the extra stuff that goes with the Stanley Cup final and everything.
Yeah.
Florida just did it. None of the Oiler guys have done it.
Yeah, Corey Perry's done it a lot, and I would think that he's
That's
going to have a big voice. Well,
Ekholm played in one final. Perry's the only guy that's won.
Henrique's gone to a final, hasn't he?
That's fair, yeah.
Like, there hasn't been a lot of guys. You're right. Like, for Florida, that's a calendar year. That whole group just did that. So even the distractions, like Rhett, you know, you can talk to. I wasn't on that team, but you can talk to the distractions of all the floaters coming out of the woodwork. Hey, I need, tickets. Hey, I went to in grade 7. You were in my math class. Can I get 4 tickets for the finals? Like,
or if you stop to grab a case of Coors Light and Molson Canadian, people just want to say hi to you.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Like, those guys are outside of the guy who like basically climbed in the car with him.
On the front seat.
No, Connor.
That was a little bit, of a stretch, but I thought it was awesome. Like, if there isn't anything more Canadian than that, I don't know when that was taken. Was that after the game?
It had to be.
He was wearing the suit, right?
It has to be post-game.
Yeah.
And
I was trying to put my kids to bed at 9 last night. Still bright here, Noodles.
Yeah, so it had to have been.
You're right, because it was a 6:00 game. He would have been done his media and all that out of the rink by 10.
Yep.
But these two over here, I guess, were giving McDavid shit for doing it. They're like,
how do you make $12.5 million and you don't have someone that can get you beer? Like, what are you doing?
No. Listen, I said, my hope is that he embraces it and is fine with it. If he's got issues with it, he should know better.
If he's got issues with it, he's not resigning there. I'm sorry. It's like you're a superstar in Edmonton.
If you've got issues with it, you've got a handler that does all of that. Like, to me, that was a spontaneous, is like, hey, we're meeting at my house. Like, Rhett, how many times did we lost to Tampa that night, 7-2 in like a January, and Rhett calls a team meeting, everyone to my house. Nobody go to the bar, everyone to my house.
Yeah.
I'm sure on the way home you had to stop to get beer, unless he sent Deke to do it. I don't know. But my point is like, I think that was awesome.
It's what you said. It's Canadian, and that's what it's all of the above. It's amazing. It's funny. If it bugged him, he shouldn't do it.
Right. And you know what? I think it bothered him once. In his mind, he's like, nobody's going to be at the liquor store on a Sunday night at 10 o'clock. Yeah. I'm going to go. I'll sneak in and grab 400 beer. And
like, can you imagine? Can you imagine LeBron swinging by for some Bud Lights?
Thank you so much, man. I'm so happy.
We don't need
you know what? They were, other than them, like reaching out and patting him on the back and stuff like that,
tapping him on the head like a dog. He just sort of looks at the lady, his girlfriend or whatever, and he just sort of nods like, let's get this in as quick as we can and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, like I said, I was joking yesterday. I'm like, what neighborhood did they stop in? Because like the house in the back, like that is like a beer store that's open 24 hours illegally that he stopped at. You know what I mean? Like, I love
everybody shit on those guys, and it's give them some space. But at the same time, it is very Canadian. I was not really worried for his safety.
Oh
no,
any of those guys were going to hurt him.
They were too excited. Driving your, I don't know what, your Porsche Cayenne.
Yeah.
Give me the keys, and I'm taking the beer. Get the hell out of here! Like,
we'll give you a ride. What do you need, man? What do you need? Exactly. So it didn't feel like a dangerous situation. But
no, it was just. I think it was like shock and awe. It's like, hey, that guy. That's Connor McDavid. That's not a guy that looks like Connor McDavid. That is him with a bunch of Coors Light coming out of the beer, and it looked like some coolers and all of that. Like, to me, I guarantee you, they had a team party afterwards at somebody's house. They can't go to a bar.
No.
So he makes a phone call and goes, all right, everybody, when you're all done your media and you shower and all that, like, come to my house, and guys, girls, the whole team as a group is going to go over there. And he probably calls his wife and she goes, we're going to need more beer.
We're going to need some vodka coolers.
Yeah. Grab as much as you can on the way. So he's grabbing it. And like, I thought it was awesome. I don't know. Like, you're right. There was nothing threatening about it other than the fact it's just like, he makes 12.5 US. Keep in mind, that's 16 million Canadian, right? With the exchange rate. You can make a phone call. You can call that liquor store and say, have the owner deliver it to my house. Really.
Did Game 6 sneak up on them? You could have a war chest a week out. Like you could have 8 freaking freezers full of beer.
But again, it kind of
keep in mind a week earlier, Dallas was kind of, looked
You're
around.
having a party either way. I don't care. Win or lose, you're on the booze.
I'll say this also. It might sound cheesy. You're not thinking about anything else.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You
That's
aren't.
what it is.
And if you are, you're doing your team and yourself a disservice. There's zero focus other than I got to go to the rink. I got to do this. I got to have my routine. I'm doing this. They said he's wearing the same suit. He's obviously got some superstitions behind. Like,
do we have enough beers if guys come over after the win tonight?
If we win, do we have beer? Not part of the thought process.
Yeah. You know what? I love that because I can actually. There's a few things you can point to of how dialed in he's been. Some of these goals, he didn't even celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
Like he celebrated the other night on that. Yeah. But his overtime goal, game 1, it looked like he was out for, like he was kind of pissed. Like he hadn't scored in the first overtime. Yeah. And then, he had that shot off Bouchard's goal, shot off the right pad. If you look, there's no like fist pumping, nothing. It's like, okay, we scored, like looking at the clock. What are we doing here? Like he's been laser focused. So I agree. He didn't go to the rink saying to his girlfriend or his fiance, make sure the house is stocked if we win tonight. Like he's like, I'll see you after the game and I could be on a plane tomorrow. I think he's been so dialed in. That was spontaneous what he did.
He's the most uncomfortable celebrity and I don't blame him for it. It's just totally his nature. Like you could see a guy like Wayne or Sid and be like, all right, guys, let's get a photo. Quick one, bang. And he's just like fighting his way through, trying not to make eye contact. You remember that photo at the airport in Anaheim when they made the playoffs 3-4 years ago? And he's like awkwardly posing with this like family. Like the guy just has no interest in being famous.
Alone,
he's just hockey.
That picture alone, like that looked like he was a hostage.
Yes.
And it like,
twice.
The lady was holding on to him for dear life and he looked so awkward. But I blame that. Now, again, the world's changed, but the way that guys have to travel, that was at the airport. And nowadays, the guys have to go through customs and then get on the plane. It used to be that we would get on the plane and customs would come on. You can't do that now after, there's security threats, all of that type of stuff. But it used to be that your routine was a little bit easier to travel. You drive to the charter terminal, you get on, customs comes on, they look at your forms, all of that, and away you go. Now the guys actually have to trek through the airport. And the funniest thing is when you go through security and they're being heroes, you got to take out you got to do this and that. And at the end of security, they got a jersey for you to sign. And I'm like, like, I don't know how many times with the Flames we'd be walking through and the guy, they're doing their job and I'm not mad at them about it, but they'd be grilling you. You can't take this, you can't do that. And then at the other end, hey, can I get a picture and sign my jersey? And of course you do, but you're like, dude, you just, brushed me, like, full cavity search there 5 feet away. Now you want a picture,
Mr. Warner, why do you have a joint over your ear? Could you sign this, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, look at this. The poor guy just wants to win hockey games and be left alone. And he had to go get drafted by Edmonton, the one place you can't be left alone and play hockey.
Oh my God. I love that picture. Like it looks like each of them are going to rip an arm off of him.
Yeah. It is very much blink twice.
Yeah.
Act natural. Don't just play it cool. Just play it cool. Well, we'll see how it honestly see how it unfolds. What do you got?
He's in division. We don't see him a ton. You hear the acclaim. He's going to win every Selke until he's not effective anymore, which probably means he's got about 10. What do you know about Alex Barkov? Because I remember being in Florida and chatting with some members of the coaching staff. This one, they weren't good yet. And they said, this is the guy. He's our leader. He sets the culture. It's all going to happen with guys falling in line behind him. And that was, I think, Bob Bugner's crew in Florida. So that was before they got good. Barkov, what is he? And how is he going to handle the best offensive centerman on the planet?
Well, okay, so if you look at the trail he's left behind, it was Kucherov 0 goals. It was Pasternak 1 goal. And it was Panarin 0 goals. And
1 for Panarin, 0 for Zibanejad, I think it was what it was.
Okay, that's what it was. Sorry. And to me, what he does well is he thinks the game. Like he's big and he's strong, so he can physically outpower you when getting under sticks, body position, all of that defensively. He's a good skater for a big guy, and he competes hard. He's not punching like he is. Actually, the craziest thing about Florida is Florida's this tough, mean, dirty team. He's the exact opposite.
Yeah,
but he's their best player because he can do everything to a T. He's great offensive. He's a great passer. Like you'll see, his vision is unbelievable offensively. And you look at it, obviously Huberdeau misses him immensely, right? Like it's not even close, like having that type of player, that type of chemistry with him. But I think what you're going to see is a guy who can keep up in all scenarios. Now, McDavid can beat him like straight out speed, but there's not going to be breakaways. So Barkov's going to angle him. Barkov's going to be able to contain him. It's where McDavid's going to have the separator is power play. If he's able to beat Barkov in that first step through the neutral zone, and now it'll be on to Forsling if they get the matchups, right? Forsling's going to have to stand up to him. But Barkov's got an unbelievable stick. There's just no weakness to his game. The one thing I've never really seen is somebody punch him. Like, if you want to get into the trenches, how does he handle the rough stuff?
That's the army behind him. That's why
I said it the other day. Somebody asked on one of the questions was how, if you got rats on the other team, how do you deal with it? Well, you don't go after them.
Yeah.
You go after Barkov.
Exactly.
And I think Florida would love that, to be honest. Turn this thing into an alley fight, the trenches. That's where they thrive, right?
But then you got to be careful. You go after Barkov, that makes 97 fair 100%. Game.
He's fair game anyway.
He is, but I think there's a layer there where it's like even the refs kind of got a horse eye on it. I say horse eye where you're looking sideways, kind of, okay, I'm watching over there type of thing. So because Draisaitl can handle that. Like Draisaitl's good in the muck. He likes the physicality. He gives it back. He can be as dirty as the guys on the other side. Like Draisaitl, I'm not worried about. 97 has fought through it. It just, I keep thinking like Bennett's a wild card for me because Bennett just doesn't care. I just don't think he cares.
He's tough as hell too.
And he's tough as nails. But that's where I come back to.
Take 7 penalties.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it might be a scenario where if Evander Kane goes to Bennett, we're fighting. Then he'll fight, but at least he knows like you got somebody over here that will stand up to you. Because I didn't see it in these other teams. I didn't see anybody skate up to Sam Bennett and go, "We're going." Like you're acting up. We're done. Yeah. And I just, not that they would beat him up, and even if they beat him up, it wouldn't stop him. But it's just a deterrent. Like he needs to know somebody will physically stand up to him.
Go look at his fight log. Sam Bennett is sneaky old man tough. Like honestly, we marveled. He was drafted to be a high skill guy. He's a high motor guy with just okay skill. The IQ's okay. He works his tail off. He's tough as nails.
I agree. Go back to that Trouba fight in Calgary. Yeah. That was like Trouba, when Trouba was in Winnipeg, I thought Trouba was getting the better of him, and then Bennett was like, "Nope, that ain't happening," and he got him good. So Bennett's a really dangerous player. So is Tkachuk. Like we haven't lost in all this talking about a guy like we're
20
talking
wild cards. That's all I've drawn from this conversation.
Yeah, but it's awesome. I think it's going to be a good final. I hope it is. I hope it goes 6 or 7 games, and you get to see some great hockey. That's really what I hope for. Because listen, I grew up in Edmonton. I'm not an Oilers fan, but my friends are all Oiler fans, and I'd be happy for them. And I played for the Panthers, and I got a lot of friends there. Luongo and Brian McCabe and Greg Campbell, who's an AGM there. Bill Zito, I knew from back in the day with the Islanders. Like, honestly, I don't really have skin in the game, but I'm happy that both of these organizations are there right now. We'll see what happens.
I'll throw this out there just because when you guys were talking about Barkov, I remember his draft year, and we were doing interviews leading in, and one of the guys that we talked to was your old teammate, Ville Nieminen. And Nieminen was playing with him that year, 12-13, with the Tappara Tampere. And Nieminen was 35, led the team in scoring, and Barkov was 16, second in team scoring, just 2 points behind. And I remember he was saying, this guy's He's playing with men. He is physically ready. He is so smart. He is so skilled. And I don't know, he was never like he was not going to be a high draft pick, but he went from 5 to maybe top 4, maybe 3. It was one of those things. And I just remember that conversation. He's like, this is one of the safest picks that any team is going to make, because even if he doesn't lead you in scoring, he's going to be so good in his own end. He's an all around.
And that was the Memorial Cup year where it was Duran, McKinnon, and Jones, and him going at 2 is the big whoa. If I'm correct.
He's a hell of a player, though. Like a hell of a player. But like I say, now the other thing too is we always expect that everyone will be at the top of their game. But it's, like Panarin and Zibanejad and those, Florida found a way to neutralize them. Yeah. Because those guys were non-factors. Kreider, I look at that. Like Dallas, the same thing. Like we didn't see the best. Like Pavelski, I felt bad for him. Like Pavelski, I think he had a really nice tip in the first period in the high slot last game. He had a shot down the wall, but outside of that, he looked 39. Mm-hmm. And Hintz didn't look like he didn't look healthy or didn't look happy. Robertson, these top tier players on both sides of the teams that ended up losing, their best weren't their best. And that's really what it was. Or Edmonton and Florida just found a way to neutralize their best. So we'll see how they match up here and who has great series and who doesn't push through and doesn't play their best.
And speaking of your friends back in Edmonton, I saw the video of her, that one friend of yours. Was it game 4 when she was there in the stands with the jersey and that whole thing? That's your friend, right? It's got to be one of your buddies.
It's my nanny.
Your nanny.
My nanny would never do that.
Heck of a gal. Hell of a gal.
That was trending, man. That was trending everywhere. That touched worldwide status.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that she knew that, but
she might now.
I don't know that she's going to be able to stroll them all to the 8 Aldos without being recognized.
You can't scrub the internet now, so
that's the thing.
Now, she's getting offers from a lot of sites. They're offering a lot of money.
Boy.
This is a career move.
Well, I felt like, keep in mind, in 2004, there was no cameras. There was no camera phones back then, because the shirts off for Kiprusoff, I felt like there was, we might have witnessed some things.
They had to start a website for that. There wasn't.
I got taken down when some executive's daughter got on there and the lawyers got involved.
Oh, is that what happened?
It was good until it was gone, like that.
It was good until until some lawyers got involved. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
you know, some things don't change though. You see content creators, people on the internet doing anything they can to get some followers and to go viral. Sometimes it's just the simplest things. Just go back to your roots, right? That's
pretty much what it is. It neutralizes a lot of people.
Sure does.
It's been popular for thousands of years, I'm told.
So
what time can we expect you? Get your buddies on the line and get this order. I'm buying because they won't buy and you're cheap.
Get the chopper lined up. You going to buy the chopper, Rhett? You can pay for his ride?
If I could get a chopper, I would be there. Honestly, had I known, but you never get. Here's the other thing. You've probably known about this for 2 days. You have.
I was supposed to be in Milwaukee.
Okay, because you could have shot me a text and say, clear Wednesday night. Then I would have. You know what I would have done? I would have drove to Buffalo this afternoon, and then did my show remote from there, and then gone for dinner with you at 7:00.
Well, who's on the phone? Who's calling you?
Our Jay downtown. The boss man.
Oh, I see.
I'm not. I guess he doesn't know that we do this show.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah.
It's weird. I guess
yeah. Good.
Gotta be busy with everything going on up there. Gotta be recruiting that girl for her show.
He's already given me heck for my background. Does he like my scratcher here?
It's very nice. Yeah, back scratcher.
That's the.
We got a kangaroo paw one for you. We're bringing in. That'll be our gift to you.
Yeah. And like I say, I never ask for anything free. I don't need them free. I pay for them, but I love this. You guys know that, right?
Yes, we know.
And what do you get in there? The orange, the grape, and what else?
There's the lemon. There's 3. It's orange, grape, and lemon. And I don't know which one's my favorite.
That's good there.
Have you tried the Zevia?
Yes, the Zevia is the other box I have. I have a fridge right there with pop on him. Zevia and Cove are full of it.
He's not Connor. He doesn't have to stop in. He's got it stocked.
You got guys.
I got it stocked up. I don't. Yeah, I don't have to head on a Sunday night at 10 o'clock to pick up my Cove and Zevia. So we're good.
So what are you doing anything in Florida, or you're just going to Edmonton?
So my understanding is games 3 and 4, Edmonton. If Edmonton has a chance to win game 5, which in Florida, we go. If not, we do a panel from here. And then game 6 back in Edmonton, and game 7, if there's a game 7, we go.
That makes sense.
Gotcha.
So I think in everything, you got to be mindful of budgets and stuff, but I'm definitely going to games 3 and 4 in Edmonton. I'll be out there. So we might have to move things around next Wednesday because I'm traveling that day.
Sure.
So let us know.
We'll work
good.
it out.
Sounds good, buddy.
Thanks, Noodles.
Be good, man. There you go. Jamie McLennan. A beauty like no other. One of the best. Jamie McLennan here every Wednesday, except for maybe next week from the sounds of it.
I'm surprised you didn't take the bait, Dean.
Which bait is that?
Well, we talked about Barkov going 2, and we know how you like to trip down the old draft rabbit hole.
Oh, that's not a good one. There's There's enough pain right now for Flames fans. We don't need to go through.
Monahan at 6, no problem there.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't hit on picks in the late 20s, whatever.
Deep drop from there, though, when you start to look at that draft class. They also had Curtis Lazar. They've had Nikita Zadorov. They've had Hunter Shinkaruk. They had Morgan Klimchuk. They've had a lot of guys from that first round.
Yeah, they were collecting them. They had, a Reichel in the system or someone? Who else was in there? Of course,
Elias Lindholm. Like from that first round, Lindholm, Monahan.
Yeah.
As I mentioned,
Shinkaruk came over in
Lazar,
trade.
Kirby Reichel, Emile Poirier, Hunter Shinkaruk, and Morgan Klimchuk, all from that first round. So you cornered the market in guys that not McKinnon, never a Flame. I noticed.
2 of the top 6, Dino.
Barkov, not a Flame. Horvat, Josh Morrissey, not
yet. Calgary boy Josh Morrissey.
Right. Yeah. He and Cale Makar are going to lead the Flames.
Clearly. And Braden Point. Hello, Dean. You putting this all together?
Big things coming up. Big things coming up.
Nichushkin's going to come here. He's a great guy in the room. Going to get him straightened out.
Good. Yeah.
He would have to stop after the game, too.
Yeah, I think he's stocked already. Yeah, I don't worry about him.
Yeah, he makes sure he should.
You were talking about nothing, not let nothing distract him except the hockey? Not his issue.
It's not an issue. No. We'll get to the Pinder Report here in a moment, but I don't. Hey, this little thing that we're doing, this little podcast thing, I don't know what Jay was calling. Maybe it's over.
That's probably dead.
Please, Lord, baby Jesus.
That's a good run.
Maybe there's a bit of a barn burner bump. Some good karma. Maybe good things start to happen when you get on board.
The quadruple B.
Yeah, or maybe it has nothing to do with it. But our buddies at Origin, it was, I guess, because I was talking to Sterling, like October of last year. We should get involved with a beer company. We had some conversation, different people. You know what? These Origin guys, Warner, you said it.
Feels like
those are the guys. That's the right fit. Good farming folk. Generation. How many generations? 5 generations out in Strathmore. They're farming. They're malting. They're making their own beer. Great guys. And we got on board with them shortly thereafter. Hey, look at this. It's the Barn Burner Blonde. Look at that. And then the Sutters come on board. Oh, okay. Things are going well. And then the kitchen's coming in and the tap room's getting busier and getting busier. Well, Pinder and I, little road trip yesterday. Let's take a look, see at what the new and the next stage of Origin malting and brewing. The Calgary location.
What?
Origin Calgary, some other good guys. Common Crown Brewing, they're going a little bit smaller, doing a little boutique stuff for Andrew and Damon. But this is the new home for Origin. They're keeping it in Strathmore.
Of course.
But now they're going to have a Calgary base. Got the cold room, some storage. They're going to do a bunch of the homegrown, their core, as they call it. And a little bit of a tap room in the front as well, ladies and gentlemen. A bit of a tap room. We got they took over yesterday. It was day 1. And as is sometimes the case, it doesn't take long for, the usuals to snibble their way in.
Not my best work. So you like head?
Just stick to the drinking part.
Gotta get that film out of the way, Rhett.
I know.
This is a horrible idea of them to give me the ability to do this.
It was not their idea. You just helped yourself.
They've lost their minds. They knew when I came in that door what they were getting. I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, that's good. Stick to the drinking part. So there you have it. The Common Crown Brewing location is now Origin, Calgary. The OC, as they've kind of been dubbing it.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Why not? They were giving her yesterday at all hands on deck, bringing in kegs and clothes and you name it. They were getting it going. And opens tomorrow. And maybe some deals. I mean, why would
Deals? Deals.
Opening
There's
weekend.
deals.
Fill up your growler for $10. $12 homegrown lager 6-packs. $5
6-packs.
pints.
Oh,
Homegrown lager 6-packs, $12. I mean,
you can't beat that.
that's almost $3 a can or less, maybe.
But
There you see it there. 943 28th Street Northeast. And they're doing everything. They're getting out everything on the Googles. You know, the Googles, when you go Google searching and you do the maps and everything, all that's getting caught up. But they are not. They're not sitting around. Well, maybe we should have a little R&D session. We should maybe think about what are we going to do? No. Swing the doors open. Let's go. So congratulations to everybody. Sterling and Spencer. Just everybody.
The whole crew.
Take over. Take over continues. There's room for everybody. But Origin Malting and Brewing.
Delicious beer. And I think that tap room, Dean, looks cozy enough to host some special events.
Yeah, we have plans. I don't know if they know it. I don't know if they think they have plans, but we have plans. That's always good too when you have those people. Hey, you know what we should do at your place? You got a boat, right? We should definitely take out your boat on Canada Day and do some.
We love boating. Let's go boating. We should take your boat boating.
Yeah. So, like, where is your boat? Where is your tap room? Because we'd love to do some stuff. Congratulations to the boys and girls, everybody at Origin.
12 to 8, Thursday through Saturday. That's how the hours are going to start at the tap room. They'll have merch, their core beers, as you know, it'll be being brewed there. It doesn't get fresher than that. Love it. And how about the deals out of the gate, Dino?
Yeah.
Welcome
and
aboard.
In fairness to you on that, the initial pour, because they had tapped the keg and they were waiting for things to settle. So it wasn't necessarily your prowess as a pint pourer.
I didn't even know what tap was what. I should have just approached with a little more caution.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's your way. That's how you do it.
Full guns a-blazing.
Yeah. That was the Mexican lager, by the way.
That was delicious Mexican lager. Rhett, are you jealous you didn't get to sit in the tap room?
I am jealous. I got to sit in an airport twice, and you got to go to a
You
brewery.
didn't even get to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You just got to pay more for coffee and things like that. Brutal.
I wonder what's next for Origin. I wonder where. Keep on going. Keep on rolling.
It feels like a global takeover at this point, doesn't it?
Kind of does, yeah.
I've got a great. There's real close to the border. Blue collar people.
They are, yeah. Well, and you said there's already some rave reviews from some people in that area about the IPA, the hazy IPA.
Exactly.
Is that Georgie Sweetland, the town drunk that liked the
Sweetland? Father-in-law.
Father-in-law says best IPA he's ever had.
Really? Well, it's that malt, man. I'm telling you.
That's heady praise. That's high praise for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure it is.
Sommelier Bill.
Yeah, that's right. Let's do the Pinder Report. It's a presentation of Village Honda. It's as though Honda figured, Calgary, we never know is it raining? Is it hot? Is it snowing? Is it like what are
we doing here?
Well, let's factor all of that in, and when we build a CRV, we're going to say this is built for Calgarians, because it really is. No matter what the conditions, there's good reason why the CRV does sit atop the pack of the compact SUV market. You'll feel confident behind the wheel. The CRV, plethora of driver safety features that comes standard. Was I calling it SRV? Stevie Ray Vaughan?
No, I think
my wires crossed. The CRV, of course, with Honda. I should stop talking. I'll let
Ryan Pinder.
I'll let him do it. It's a Pinder Report.
Thank you, Dino. Another day in June means another mock draft has fallen in our lap. Corey Pronman of The Athletic, who's always been superb on prospect stuff, wanders through the first round of the NHL draft, where we know things get a little crazy after 1. In this draft, hang on, Jacko. At 2, the Blackhawks don't go Demidov. They take Lev Shunov, the defenseman playing at Michigan State. Interesting. Anaheim at 3. What is Pat Verbeek like? Rhett, is it soft skilled players or is it 6'7" hitting machines that play defense?
Soft skilled?
No. Verbeek ends up in this mock taking Anton Salayev.
I'll take the mystery box.
Yeah, and so that really throws the top of the draft in some weird spots. Caden Lindstrom at 4 goes to Columbus. That makes sense for the big, talented, hulking centerman with some injury issues. I think teams will get a lot more clarity on him with the combine going on in Buffalo, and that allows Demidov, maybe the most talented winger in the draft, skill-wise, to go to the Habs. Got a ton of deal all of a sudden at 5. Now, the Habs have been a team that apparently love TJ Ginla. Demidov has been top 3 in most mocks and draft rankings we've seen. They go Demidov, and that allows the slide for Ginla to occur. The Flames do not take him. Berkeley Catton at 9, high-flying winger, not big. More of your
says a center
type. I don't know that he is, and that's the thing. He might sort of be a little bit of center, a little bit of wing. Can you be a really good center under 6 feet? Not many have done it. Braden Point can do it.
Yeah, let's definitely trade and draft more guys that are kind of centers, but then we'll settle in nicely as wingers.
Well, and sort of the thought on Catton is winger or center. This guy's going to be an explosive offensive player. You like the player. You don't care that much about the position, but the Flames desperately need centers. I agree. Let's follow along with the mock with Beyond the Flames. We saw, Seneke go at 10 and Ginla slides to 11. Who's picking 11, Rhett?
It looks to me like the Buffalo Sabres are.
Ha! And I do.
And another center.
I like the bottom sentence here, Rhett. Several NHL team sources think Buffalo is a strong candidate to trade their pick. You've been telling them for years they need Markstrom. You told them they should have taken Hanifin. You were right.
They need Markstrom now. They could have got him last year.
Yeah,
so you think that one good year of
Ukko-Pukka Lehkonen had one of the best second halves in the NHL.
Yes, which is a half of hockey.
Well, you're funny because, and I'm not here to argue.
I like the player
because if you like the argument, you'll use it. If you don't, it holds no stock in your opinion. So
did you just meet me, or have you known me for 10 years?
Exactly. That's why I said I'm not going to argue with you. But I think a lot of people are assuming that Ukko-Pukka has kind of found his footing.
Yeah,
and is going to be a good goaltender moving forward, and that they'd be real dumb at this point after going through last year to then go get a guy like Markstrom.
Yes. So I guess the question would be, would you love a platoon of UPL and Markstrom, or would you just say untested Devin Levi and a guy that had a good half? That's all our eggs, and that this is goaltending. We don't know. Both could look genius or idiotic, right? Nope. Okay. Move.
I can't.
We're having an Ukko-Pukka Lehkonen debate.
Argue.
Well, yeah. I mean, is he a top 10 goalie in the league?
How did we get here? I thought we were talking about TJ Ginla.
He was
We're
for
trying to get
sure.
that
He was
pick
top
traded.
5.
I see. So are the Flames going to have like 9, 10, 11? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what we're trying to do. We got to get all these. How many places can we trade Markstrom? Because Flames also pick at 28, and this one it's EJ Emery, a defenseman with the National Development Team program in the States. What do you know about this kid, Rhett?
So Demidov talked to someone yesterday, not with the Flames organization.
Yeah.
Said really good, very concerned with the skating because he's not a pretty skater and he leans and his hips and his knees are going to struggle. His hips and his knees he's going to get hit, and he'd be very concerned about it. Emery was terrible 2 or 3 years ago, went to the program. They did an unbelievable job and has skyrocketed up to this position. They love him now.
So you like Emery at 28?
I do.
Could be a shutdown D.
Well, from what I was told, the how far he has come is very impressive.
That's a Teach thing too, right? He was healthy at the Memorial Cup last year. Like wild stuff.
Rookie.
16. I get it.
Seattle Seahawks.
It was the Seahawks indeed. You're right.
Seahawks never really used him the right way.
Not to his full abilities.
Anyway, again, we're not saying what is going to happen. No one has a clue is more the point we're making, that anytime we go through a mock or a draft ranking 2 to 12, we see something totally different. In this one, it's Zane Perrick sliding all the way to 12, 13. Other times you see Salayev sliding the teens. Yzerman sometimes is going top 6. Other times in the teens. Like, have fun, Dean. Anything can happen here.
Do your voodoo thing.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't have fun?
I don't really give a shit. No.
Okay.
I mean, I know we're making it up. This is a carnival-like atmosphere, and that we should be like, woo! It's like, oh, we'll get to whatever day of the week it is. Thursday, Friday, Wednesday. When are they doing this thing now?
The 28th, the draft. Yeah, that's what we're talking
so
about.
They'll roll through. And
does that make you stoic? Because you don't get rattled? Are you stoic? Because
no,
it's
just
not giving a fuck stoic, or is it just throwing in the towel and saying I'll be on vacation that week?
We have been talking about this uncertainty for weeks and weeks. I don't know what more you can say. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy because we don't know it. All the mock drafts, some guys are here and some guys are there, and there's some guys are here and some guys are there, and
that's why I'm doing all this research.
Right, so we've established that
this is why Rhett's at the combine, Dean. Hello, this is what Flames fans want to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know who this Calgary legend is, but I believe he works at a radio station not owned by the people that would never sue people that left. Here we go. Let's hear what he has to say about Edmonton Oilers.
It would be impossible to overstate how badly I need the Edmonton Oilers to lose in the Stanley Cup final. Like, this just cannot happen. And I say this as a fan of the Boston Bruins, who have been knocked out of the playoffs the last 2 seasons by the Florida Panthers. And I'm still fully prepared to cheer for Florida. The Florida Panthers, who are the dirtiest team in the NHL. The Florida Panthers, who have the most rats per capita. And that's because the Edmonton Oilers have some of the most obnoxious fans in all of pro sports. Even after nearly 2 decades of having nothing to cheer about, if they win the cup, they are going to be unbearable. They're still bragging about cups they won from before I was born, and I'm 35 years old. Please, God, do not let the Edmonton Oilers win the Stanley Cup.
He makes some sound points as someone whose team's been eliminated by the Florida Panthers back-to-back seasons.
Can I ask a question? So when you manifest, can you manifest bad onto others? Or does manifesting mean you just make the dream come true for yourself?
Yeah, I think whatever you want, if you want to manifest something happening to you or someone else, you're trying to manifest.
Okay. You're right. I think in that case, you would be manifesting a Florida victory.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because I think it's like when you're watching a game and you throw out, I wonder if he gets a shutout. When it's a guy that you don't want to get a shutout, I don't know that it works. But if it's on your side, then that's jinxie pants. So I don't know.
This hero, this local legend that's manifesting, Dean, I believe goes by the name of Andrew Beckler. Andrew, we haven't met you, but we would like to share a pint of Barnburner Blonde with you.
Beckler.
Come collect your prize at the ship when I'm watching Team Canada play tomorrow. Okay, very good. Next. Now, he says the Oilers are annoying, but really, like, who's done a scientific... So in a survey done in December, they need to redo this, Dean. How in the world are the Oilers the third most annoying fan base? This was clearly when they were in last place and no one was on social media. They're a top 1 or 2 annoying team in the league.
Ottawa.
I think it was a very mouthy start to the season for the Senators.
Well, I think it's because everyone else in the world, Ottawa doesn't come up on their list of teams.
It's got to be a very Eastern Conference based thing. You've got...
Jay Fresh is not I'm a Toronto guy. He grew up on the East Coast.
There's one Western team in the top 7.
Well, the Oilers belong there. That's quite impressive.
I'm not necessarily debating that, but
the Vancouver Canucks at 8 feels a little low given the play. We need to do this again. Can we get this refreshed? Because I would place them higher. Really would. But yeah, Canada's team. Go get it, guys.
I'm AIing it for you, Ryan.
Thank you. AI will definitely not screw this one up. Let's go to Ryan Pike. You did a very scientific survey as well. Hey, Flames fans, who are you cheering for and why?
Right.
It's a strong 3/4 for Florida. So I don't know. It's Calgary. Panthers, Calgary's team.
Somewhat a predictable response on a Flames Nation website.
Yes, almost begging the question, why would anyone think or ask if Calgarians would be cheering for Edmonton?
Yeah. I saw somebody kind of equate it to and just across, is Canada's team? Are you cheering for the Oilers because they're now Canada's team? And somebody had said, if you're kind of a fringe fan, you kind of go to one game a year, you kind of whatever. It's like, yeah, it'd be nice to have the team. You have a Canada team, but if you're a hardcore and you have a team that you follow and you're a fan of a team and everything else, it's like, this is the stupidest notion ever.
Yeah, if you're a real hockey fan, you're not getting sucked into that nonsense. Like my wife is like, I would be happy for Edmonton, and she doesn't know the difference between a forward and a defenseman. But like people that watch the game are like, I can't stand those assholes that lottery balled their way to the final here. No, we're not doing it.
This is gonna be a tough 2 weeks for our buddy Pinder.
It could be. It really could be.
And the whole.
You know, it's not going to be
team the wrong way. Seravalli, the whole like Nurse makes too much money. It's all gonna have to.
It's not going to be good.
Come crashing down.
Stunning. All those mistakes could still result in the Stanley Cup. Meanwhile, Bill Zito's just fucking.
You'll still have the lottery balls.
Yeah,
they are there.
Right? You still have that.
They'll always be there.
But all the criticisms and the shots are going to bring
even if they lose in 7, it's a huge win for Team Pinder here. It really is. It's just a win, and everything. It's done. It's over.
I'm worried about Team Pinder.
Yeah,
a little worried.
You know who also is worried for Team Pinder is that our girl. This is your friend up in Edmonton. You used to work there for a year, Dean. This is your girl.
Oh, there she is. To win the Stanley Cup this year.
I would give up cannabis.
That's a good answer.
Really? So that you're telling me that woman has a cannabis addiction that needs to be kicked.
That's how bad she wants it.
Didn't see that coming.
That's the length she's willing to go.
Oh no. That must mean a lot to you.
I'm proud of her.
That's the biggest thing you could give up.
I'm proud of her. She's honest, and that's something of meaning.
Didn't have to hum or haw. Just
if she's been around since the last final in 2006 cheering for that team, you would have needed a lot of cannabis, and it might even have been medically necessary to deal with the slop that was out there for a decade plus.
Very nice outfit she had on too. That's
the first time I've seen her break that one out.
Yeah. Belle of the ball.
What would a pro wrestler call her if he was cutting a promo?
I don't want to get in trouble. It's not very nice.
Let's just go to 11C. What's 11C, Jack? Oh, look at this merch. Man, Fanatics is killing it. How legit is that?
Gross.
Oof.
Try a little harder, boys.
I think a 5-year-old with MS Paint could do a better job than that. This is worse than the Rob Lowe I'm cheering for a good game NFL had. This is even worse.
I saw that yesterday. I had no idea it was literally a Fanatics thing. Like to the point that it's really like I feel somebody's trolling with that.
They're so bad at everything. Unless they want to advertise a podcast, in which case
love to have you. Love to have you.
Come in.
Could really use a merchandise supplier for sure.
Another 0 on that. Yeah, then we'd love you. Yeah.
Will help.
We have some inside sources that have been doing some great detective work with us around the Western Hockey League. And look what we dug up from Saskatoon. Dana, look at this young fella. He hasn't even aged a day either. How old are you in that middle photo? You look like that's yesterday.
I think it goes in years. So I think my first year's the top, second.
The flow's changing. You're
bottom.
The bottom.
I'll tell you what, like seeing those photos, your oldest looks a lot like you there, hey? I mean, there is not that he doesn't in general, but to see you there.
Right, you don't need to go Povich with the shoveler and do the who's the father thing. We believe you.
Oh, we had that test done long ago.
That's that right.
Wow. When you're playing, you're on the road a lot, and all of a sudden you got a kid.
Celebrity.
I've never understood the need to go to that bottom jersey, by the way.
What a waste that was. We were... Ugh.
It looks like an upside down blade, but I think it's supposed to be a bridge. I don't know what they're doing.
It's a bridge and a blade, and we've thrown red in there for some reason all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's kind of St. Louis Blues-esque, isn't it?
It was, yeah.
It's gone.
No good.
No bueno.
Good. Look what else our intrepid reporter found in the archives.
I called it her a stalker.
Who's this?
The person that sent that, because I got those pictures
myself. Oh, did you? Yeah.
I wouldn't want that person, male or female, to be divulged with their detective work at the league headquarters, Rhett. Right. Who do we see here, Rhett?
That's Bradley Treliving, the GM of the most annoying fan base team.
That's right.
In December, yes. I would. I think it's probably a strong bet for number one still. Yeah.
I watched that man play the first ever game in Sask Place, Brandon Wheat Kings.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have any fights? He played on some teams. I think it was in the IHL.
I don't recall if he fought.
Yeah. He played on some teams that had some monster heavyweights. Like if he was the 5th or 6th toughest guy, he was getting some good matchups.
I may not make the NHL, but these cactus cuts, I really think people are going to love these.
Let's move along. Calgary Surge in action tonight. Dino, this is a busy week for the Surge. They're back at Winsport. Toontown coming in. Unless
Rattlers.
Can we get some wins here, Surge? Let's go.
We need some wins, Surge. Let's go. Let's be 3-3 by the end of the week, shall we? Saskatchewan, Vancouver, and Winnipeg coming in this week. That's a Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. That's the rhythm you like, Rhett. It's game day, off day, game day, off day, game day.
Those Sea Bears.
Friggin' Sea Bears. Get out of here.
Gotta watch them.
Jerks. The Sea Bears with the hoops and the harm. Hooping and diming. Okay. It is, what day is it? Wednesday, Dean.
Wednesday.
Dean, today is the 3rd day. We are begging you to come to the Cavalry game on Saturday with Jack and I. Please, Dean, this one time
afternoon,
leave your house, please.
They got pierogies.
They do good food there.
We can make it a whole day thing. We can go to the Origin Tap Room.
Even better,
for
Dean.
lunch.
Right.
A couple beers and go to the soccer game.
22
degrees, Dean.
Oh, Dino.
They'll take you for a bacon, egg, avocado sandwich. Remember
over the whole.
Oh.
Yeah, it's nearby. Yeah, it's nearby. It's not promising at this point.
Dean?
But by all means, let's try again tomorrow.
Okay. We'll try again tomorrow. And Cavalry heard, and they're even trying to entice you because they
is that right? I have
they now have a seat and a beer for $35. You're not gonna be able to beat that, brother. So everyone's trying here. We'll see if we can't crane Dean out of his home. He seems very deep rooted.
If you are someone who enjoys doing things in life, that's hard to beat.
It really is.
$35 for a seat and a beer.
It's tall boy too, Dean.
I mean, come on.
It's Danish beer. That's good beer.
Tremendous. Well done, Cavalry.
Yeah, well done. Very good. Speaking of beer, Rhett, you've been running some beer league hockey out in Buffalo. I don't know who's been behind the bench because obviously you've been traveling or trying to travel so much, but I want you to focus behind the net. This is Rhett's select team, and he's already got them with some advanced moves. He goes behind the net, on his back, and the suplex. We're sorry that was filmed on a potato, but the suplex, I haven't seen that one before. Up on the shoulders, bang.
I didn't even know
Never
that. I couldn't
seen that.
Yeah.
Dean, you're a wrestling guy. That's pretty good, huh?
That's kind of a Brock Lesnar suplex city deal there. Yeah. Not wouldn't be enjoyable, I wouldn't think. The gear that you wear not really protecting you from a
the back
belly to belly suplex or a belly to back suplex there.
Yeah.
Not ideal. Again.
Let's go.
Might be. Yeah, I'd give him maybe a game.
Game?
Yeah, maybe a game.
Well, it's Rhett's league. He's gonna make the rules here. What's
it was early. It was still in the first period, and he served the rest of that game, so we're probably good.
Well, we saw Rhett ref too in that beer league game that we did that no one's copied since, and we saw Tomahawk swing almost break a man's leg, and Rhett wasn't even gonna call a minor. So
yeah, the Florida Panthers, the Panthers are lobbying the league to let Warner referee this series.
There'd be no bias there.
No.
Let's go check in with our boy Tim Nackey. He's in Calgary doing things. I think you know where he is too. Let's take a peek.
It's day 2, week 2, going to blackjack and betting 1 cent for every follower I've got. We have a $13,700 bet coming up for the 1.37 million of you following now. Off to a ratchet start yesterday. Need some fucking redemption here. Alrighty, ladies, gentlemen, degenerates. We're going to go 13,000 on the nose. We're going to go 400 each of the side bets here today. Our dealer looks like Max Verstappen fucked a ventriloquist dummy. I hope he's down for the insult. He's down with something, but we won't hold it against him. Ace is good. 10 for me now. Yes! Blackjack! Blackjack day 2! Week 2!
you, you little fucking beauty. We are back in Prophet Land. Walter, shelve your ghost pepper for the time being, because we are back in a big way. Thank you. Vex? He looks like he might have the tism. Vax Verstappen. That's rolled off beautifully. I will see you all tomorrow when we'll be betting even more. Get that fucking up ya.
All right.
Vax
Verstappen.
Yeah, that's right.
The less famous brother.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
that was
Timmy.
a big bounce back. That was a toughie. He took the blackjack right in the teeth yesterday. So he's there you go.
Now, summer's about getting out and enjoying the outdoors, some adventures. Dean loves getting out of his house to do adventures, so he was doing some mountain climbing. Now, this is a very, very famous face on a mountain. This is called El Capitan. It's a massive granite face that he's climbing on here. This is the very top. And what you'll see is there's a blue rope he's going to let go of, and the orange will be his swing.
Ready? You reckon we should tie a knot in the end of that there rope there, Paulie?
I'll tell you what, 30-10, I don't think we need to.
Boy.
Ryan?
It's been nice knowing you, Paulie.
Oh, see?
Wow!
Holy shit! That was fucking sick! Ah!
That's why you can't go to the cavalry game?
Yeah. That's some thrill chasing right there. That's the most famous climbing granite face on earth. If you've seen the movie, Free Solo, that's the one. Whew.
The one with Stallone?
Nope. That's Cliffhanger. That's
Skyscraper.
Because curls, Dean.
Yeah.
Curls.
Yeah.
Are you feeling better, Dean? Surprised you didn't vomit.
Tough start to that movie.
Yeah, that's right out of the gate, eh?
Yeah,
oh,
tough
boy.
start. It's like, oh shit.
He's gonna have to overcome that now, isn't he? Yeah.
Gonna need some time to bounce back after that.
Well, Dean, though, he's not just a one activity guy. He was on the cover of Surf Life magazine in 1998. And there he is. He's still keeping it.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I guess it was you and that goose up for the cover shot, Dean.
Yeah.
He's pissed at you still.
It goes right for the Achilles. Right for my fucking Achilles there.
Oh, no.
Damn goose.
Yeah. Jack and his buddies, what they like to do in the summer is get drunk in people's yards and do really dumb shit. So this is a new one. They've banned lawn darts because people are getting hurt, people being idiots.
Sure, yeah. Shit, you can make
so what Jack and his buddies say, well, the lawn darts were soft to begin with. Let's go with real darts, and we're in Buddy's backyard.
You're getting good. You're getting good at that. I'm getting better. Good game.
These idiots. Jack.
Just,
dumb animals. Jack,
nice
you got a girlfriend.
throw.
You can't be doing this stuff.
That's a great throw.
Oh, wow. Good thing you tucked that thumb, Jackie.
Just stop the globe and let me off. I mean, what kind of a world are we leaving for our kids in the next generation?
Drunk darts. That's the kind of world.
Oh, man.
Back to Dean surfing. I knew you didn't know you were a wake surfer because I thought he was just the more traditional
He's
surfer.
a waterist.
Yes, skimboarding and stuff.
Aquatist.
Mm-hmm. Not afraid of large. Oh, Dino, you pulled the chute at just the right time there. Whew. Killer whale. Hello.
Yeah, he's going for a seal there?
Yeah.
Killer whale, Dean, fish or mammal?
Yes. Delicious.
All the above. Got it.
I'm telling you,
why do people make those things?
Make which?
Fake
killer whales?
Huh?
Fake AI clips.
Oh, you don't think that's real?
No, I don't think it's real.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of the maybe they know something. The orcas and the killer whales. They're getting awful surly. They're a bunch of bastards right now. They're running into boats and
chewing on rudders.
Maybe we should sit down and talk. What do you guys know that we don't know? What's happening?
This is true. Actually, I did have a shark video that we're shelving for tomorrow, but
Okay.
he was definitely trying to speak with some humans quite close distance. You had lamented the lack of ostriches in yesterday's Pinder Report.
Oh, good.
I'm a lamenter.
So we'll close the Pinder Report. Trying to make Dean happy, the hardest thing in life.
See, serves him right. You big lanky bastard.
Now, is that an emu or an ostrich? I'm hoping that's an ostrich. I didn't want to disappoint.
And look at the guy behind. He was going to join in. Hey, yeah, let's rough this guy up. Then as soon as dude takes a spill, watch the second ostrich here. Oh, did you? Oh, no, I'm okay.
Honey.
Bill Zito's currently working on a contract with the ostriches to play on the fourth line.
Yeah.
Let's run around. That's your Pinder Report on a Wednesday, fellas.
Brought to you by Village Honda. Huge selection of used vehicles, pre-owned, all makes, all models. We've been telling you, there's no need if you're looking for a pre-owned. Maybe I'll go here. Got to drive around. What are you doing on Saturday? Well, we're going to go look for a bit. We're going to have to drive around. Save it. Save your time. Save the effort. You go to Village Honda, see what's on the lot. If it's not on the lot, you go and you sit down. Let's take a look at the database. Let's take a look at the Wood Automotive Group and see what you've got for us. Over 500 pre-owned vehicles inside the dealership group is why. Village Honda, your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. They're worth the trip. Village Honda in the Northwest Auto Mall.
I did have one follow-up for you. Was that too many ostriches?
Not for me.
Okay.
No, there was two. And if again, if they were ostriches or emus, I don't know what differentiates there.
We've got experts in the comments. No one's calling it an emu.
If I was to guess, I'm going to say ostrich. I think you're on. I think so. And there were two in there, and I don't think two can ever qualify as too many.
Not there, at least.
Yeah, because even that guy, he's like, there's only two of them. I'm getting out of here, no problem.
Yeah.
But now, do they have like scary talon-y things?
For sure they would.
Like they'll
gross, prongy, talon claws.
Got you like a fish.
If they're gutting you, but they got to run.
Yeah.
Big talons.
And small brains, eh? They're like minuscule, like a pea.
Peanut. Yeah. So
you're big and you're fast, but you're stupid. I'm gonna outbrain you. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'd use a second rounder on that guy if he plays.
If we were doing the tail of the tape, and like Noodle says, you're putting the lineups over top of each other. I'm getting the check mark in the brain category. Endurance, ostrich. Speed, ostrich. Strength, ostrich. Fitness, ostrich. Height, ostrich. Weight, ostrich. Brain, boom.
Dino.
Big brain over here. It's actually kind of swollen. Got a lot of headaches. Yeah, it's probably something I should see somebody about, but
well, you got to leave your house, so that'll be hard.
I was going to say, it's tough to get the brain doctor to come to you.
Speaking of having people come to your house, my man card was just pulled.
What? Rob Reagan?
The shoveler. There's been a lot of repair on roofs in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the shoveler decided to drive through the roofing garbage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What happens then?
Oh, no.
Well, there'll be nails. Chances are there's nails that they would have ripped out from the previous shingling job.
Yeah, so and that leads to flats. And I noticed during the show that there was a vehicle with a man that popped out, and he had a jack and some wrenches and looked to be changing.
This is the most embarrassing show.
Jack,
three guys talking to predominantly a male audience. Hey, look at us. We're men's men.
Can't change tires.
Can somebody help me with my flat tire?
I didn't know she was doing. Well, here's the catch. I guarantee she gets and she, like my kid, when they F up, doesn't want to report back.
Yeah, that's true.
No embarrassment.
Right? Wants nothing to do with the judgment that's going to come with what has happened. So rather than do that, I'm just going to call and pay someone to deal with this.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad Pinder isn't there because
he's got that.
He'd have been the guy.
I'll have time now that the show's over. Perfect.
Yeah, especially now. Yeah, especially now, for sure. Just keep an eye on things because
She's
maybe
too ugly for him anyway. It wouldn't work out.
Jack, can we bleach this episode off the internet, please?
Oof. I was going to make another joke, and it was far less egregious than that one. But I can't really go back after you set the bar there. Let's just move on to take a look at Betway bets maybe or something.
Yeah, okay.
The Betway bets, get that Betway app, get on it, get after it, and create your new account if you haven't. You've been hearing us yucking about it for weeks and months. Well, enough already. Let's go. Stanley Cup Finals coming, NBA Finals coming. Those lots of Blue Jay baseball you can really wrap your head around. Create a new account, scan the QR code on the screen, redeem your bonus. You place a bet. No minimum amount required, but whatever happens, if the bet loses, you will get up to a $200 refund, which you can then go back in and do more betting on your favorite sports. Only available this offer outside of Ontario. Now, just throwing these out there again, this is some of the futures, they call them. Stanley Cup Final, the number of games in which it would come to a completion. If it's a sweep, it pays plus 550. A 5-gamer, plus 250. But Betway says the likeliest odds here is it ends in 6 or 7 games, both paying plus 200. So
if you put $100 down on each 6 and 7, you're in the money if one of those two works. Where you go?
Yeah. It does feel like a 6 or 7. I guess I was just kind of curious because you go south. Oh, Florida's going to crush these guys.
I don't know where that sentiment's coming from.
I don't either.
I saw the ESPN broadcast is the only place that I've seen where they think this isn't going to be a great series.
Feels like a great series to us, and we're so smart. Totally know what we're talking about. So,
yeah, we've laid the lineups over top of each other, and
we have.
Can we just lay like the special teams and goalies on top of each other? Isn't that where all the series
Rhett
are
glaze over when Noodles started going through the 4 lines?
It's a very unusual process I've not seen done before.
It's like when Pinder gets sick and his skin of his face starts to hang off of his head.
The sinus infections.
Warner had that going. He had some melted butter face going there.
Needed some of Boom's shades so I could.
Who's playing? Who is it that's on the 4th line with the?
Oh boy,
Fogle.
If you've got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, you might not need the 4th line to outplay the others to win.
Now, in fairness, you're not the guy to have a unbiased conversation with about any of this stuff.
Well, even Florida, sure. Our 13th forward is better than theirs, so it's our cup. How about the Stars be the Stars?
Yeah.
Goaltending and special teams. That's probably where you want to line up over top of each other, and who knows? Goaltending's voodoo. And the Rangers looked like their special teams were awesome until they ran into the Panthers.
One pulled groin and everything changes.
Totally.
Yeah. Truth.
No bets, Dean? You like 6 and 7?
Well, yeah, I would. I'll say 6.
You like 6?
I like 6. What's wrong with 6?
Got no problems with 6.
And later this week, you'll find out just who in 6 will be my pick. Jack, did you ever go back and do any math as to who's in?
It's got till Friday.
They haven't quite got to the math.
Yeah, right.
Pinder's in last, you're in first.
Okay, but it's not about that. It's can Rhett reel him in? And who the hell did Rhett actually pick in the last?
Yeah, who picked who into? Yeah, I don't know.
To pick both
it
teams,
should be tied going into the final.
Our foot down as we always.
I definitely had Dallas, and I definitely had Florida.
I was the same,
and I think Rhett had the Oilers.
Yes,
but then I think he also had the Florida Panthers.
Yes.
But
there's no way he wasn't going to pick his old team. You kidding me?
Really trying to find a way.
He's greasing hard. All right, my Betway bets. I'm going a little baseball, a little footy. Oh, Baltimore's in Toronto. They've absolutely slaughtered the Jays. It is Barrios today. Baltimore's the dog. What are you talking about? How is Toronto favored over one of the best teams in baseball? Not buying it. In fact, I'm going to lay a 1.5 with the Orioles plus 165 tomorrow. It is a friendly between the Netherlands and Canada as these tournaments get set for Euro in Europe and Copa America in North and South America. Jonathan David, the Canadian striker, their best goal scorer, to get a goal plus 320. And I'll be hammering pints of Mexican lager at the ship, hoping for Jonathan David to score for the Canadians.
2 first names there.
Yeah. Can or can't trust him.
Not sure.
Yeah.
He's up to something. What are you hiding from? Pick one, Jonathan or David. What's it going to be?
He's probably got 2 passports, 2
aliases. It's like Warner, trying to be slippery.
2 wives.
Slippery bastard.
It's a good player.
There you go. Those are the Betway bets of the day. I would encourage you to use that QR code. It is going to get you that bonus. When you start and create your new account, you make your bet up to, $200. No minimum amount required, but up to $200 refund is coming your way if it does not win, which you can then spin back for more of your favorite sport betting. Offer only available outside of Ontario. That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Great Clips inbox coming up on Friday. Reminder to get your questions in, your thoughts, whatever your comments. The email address is greatclipsinbox@flamesnation.ca. Some of them are already starting to go through. I saw one come in regarding Donair meat. I've seen a couple coming in just about the conundrum that a lot of Flames fans and hockey fans find themselves in.
Do we need to take a hiatus on this show? I feel like next week will be fine, but the week after, we might just have to throw things on pause.
Yeah. Well, how does because again it goes Saturday, Monday, then 2 days off, Thursday. Yeah, I don't know.
By the beginning of not next week, the week after, it'll be 4 games into the series.
Next Friday is a holiday. And Monday is a holiday. So
is it?
Rhett's Day.
Well, it's the day after Father's Day at some point.
Day after Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Which is universally celebrated.
Yeah, it's
and
Dad's
recognized.
Hangover Day, obviously. Yeah. I mean, what? You don't honor that here? Maybe I'll look somewhere else.
Yeah, no question. No question about that. Just some comments to wrap the old dealio. Look at this, old friend, Mandeep. Finally catching an episode live. Pump, good to have you back, Deeper. Where you been?
Deeper, you're working too hard, buddy.
Come on, Deeper.
Buddy.
Did you see what he posted the other day on social?
Yes. Did you? I was going to say, did you see it?
Well, I mean, he's always posted stuff. It's great, but he had some.
I didn't know if we should show it or not.
Sliding a Mickey into his pants, trying to sneak out. Pay for
his
borrowing.
He was borrowing.
Sticky fingers.
It's the vodka section. Foop, into the old Vestaruni or whatever there.
He was wearing a red 44. I don't know who it was.
Yeah. That goes to do the old checkout. Sir, I'm going to need that.
Keeper's like, can you just take it out of your pocket? Yeah.
Yes, what? Who? Me? What?
Oh, shoot. I must have fallen in.
It's just right there. Just set it on the thing.
Put it on the table.
Oh,
thanks.
Just leave that there. Yeah, now you can eat it.
Don't do that. If you're going to go to visit Mandeep and do it, but don't do that.
Don't do it anywhere. For starters, but certainly not Mandeep.
Yeah.
Mandeep and his family, some of the best folks you're ever going to find. Jeez.
I can't wait to get to the Mandeeps for supper.
I know. He's brought it up. Tim, if I had a dog video for Pinder Report consideration, where do I send it?
Yeah, my socials are open. I'm getting all kinds of nonsense every single day.
Tim,
literally since we started the show, I've got people sending videos to.
If I had a dog video, and you know what? Here's the thing, because I know you must vet all this stuff so carefully.
You're only getting the best of the best, Dean.
Yeah, I would bet that there's. So don't be upset, Tim, if it doesn't quite make
this Gator videos just came in. He's sunning himself. That'll be on tomorrow's Pinder Report.
I saw one this morning, and it was an Aussie thing, which I mean, anything Aussie.
It would be nice to go down under.
But a guy got his ass knocked the F out.
Oh.
Yeah, there was some guy who was kind of vaping around the fence, the front area of the house, and he was like, "You should get out of here." And he didn't want to. He was gonna damn well vape wherever he wanted to. And then he kind of he took his shirt off. It's like, "Do you want a piece of this? I'm a vaping, swinging machine right here." And he went to sleep about 15 seconds later.
Oh, he went to bed. Quick, eh?
Yeah.
What was in that vape pen?
Yeah, and then took a boot right to the ribs just for good measure, just in case. Handsome Dan. Little off topic, but I'd love it if you guys had a member section. $1 a month gets you access to weekly videos like Retro's Conspiracy Corner, Cooking and Ranting with Booms, and Pinder's Pops.
We've been talking about the pre-show too. You can throw the pre-show in that.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
members. Do we get a jacket too? A member's jacket?
You get a
Starts with
you
a
get a
patch.
members.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little more than $1 a month, but we'll see how that goes.
We're gonna charge $10 for the membership, and the jackets cost $100. What are we doing there?
Yeah, it's $100 a month, and you get a free jacket. How about it? And Sam wants to know Aussie Brad tracking playoffs. We've not had an Aussie Brad.
I think Aussie
sighting.
Brad is doing he's taking advantage of where he's at, and that's down under. And Aussie Brad can forget that other team in Alberta is alive and existing and still playing. He doesn't.
So he's not getting stopped 15, 20 times a day. People talking about the Oilers.
Getting it jammed down his gullet.
Yeah, his day-to-day life is probably free of Oiler honks for the most part.
Well, someone's got a good idea for the jackets too. That's a great idea. We did. Aussie Brad came up in conversation yesterday, Dean.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, people want more Aussie Brad in their life. Is what
everyone wants more Aussie
better
Brad.
than this shit. That's for sure.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
maybe
and it's
that's
the other
what
side of the
Jay's
world. So
calling about.
I have to be organized. I got an idea.
Fat boy with Aussie Brad. All right. Be very disappointed if that happened to be. So tomorrow, Milwaukee.
Yes,
Milwaukee.
for sure.
Right.
I'm gonna get there. I mean, eventually that plane.
It's the fourth time's the charm, Rhett. I'm with you, bud.
Oh, look at the tires she's got on that rig.
You got one of those greasy.
Is it the donut?
Greasy donut too.
Full size?
It's not the donut. We're not idiots. We buy full size.
Full size spare. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you get home yesterday, Pinder? By the way, from the.
I Ubered. I had an Uber. Grab me. I Ubered there both ways.
Well,
yeah, I know you did.
Good job.
I was by bike yesterday. I had to get again somehow on the day where I ended up having a couple pops. I had like the only massage I've had in 4 months. So I keep rolling and hammered to this.
Yes.
This guy smells like booze again.
This guy stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that feels good.
This is great, sir. Please take your clothes off and lie down so I can rub your body for 58 minutes.
Sorry.
That'll do it. See ya, buddies.